Welcome. My name is Brenda Lanoff, and at times I do interviews, and I'm excited to be bringing on Anna Schmidt. So Anna is a podcast person, and she does, she's a teacher and a healer, and she does so many things. I'm just thrilled to be looking through her website, and the levels of podcasts that she does and teaching is absolutely amazing. So, anyways, welcome, Anna. I'm pleased to connect with you from Canada, Alberta, Canada, here for yourself in Tasmania, and we worked out the time difference. So this is great. So, yeah, let's begin here, and I'll just go through and just mention that Anna is a super sensitive psychic whose 40-year mission for the paranormal right from childhood has evolved into her career of specializing in professional paranormal house and property healing. Anna works remotely, cleansing properties worldwide of unwanted energetic trespassers and the emotional and trauma energy portals, black magic, and addiction energy. I find that interesting, addiction energy in homes that attract them. The energetic cleansing of the land, homes, and properties as a whole provides a cleaner living space for better quality of sleep, improved relationship interactions, work productivity, and an overall sense of happiness and well-being. So welcome again.
That's me. Hello. It's lovely to see you again, Brenda.
It is. I love doing this, and definitely I'm looking forward to hearing more about you and this paranormal work that you do. I connect with many practitioners who do the energy work, and this is just right up our alley. So I'm going to be excited about sharing our replay on this. So I'm going to ask you some questions here. And firstly, how did your paranormal journey start? Like the early days, like what was that all about?
Oh my gosh, I think I was born into sensing and feeling the paranormal world around us right from childhood, like a lot of us energy workers are. We're always aware of the energy world from very young. I didn't have anyone to share it with, so I've kind of kept it to myself for all of my childhood life and most of my teenage life, and well, pretty much probably until I was about 30 is when I actually started talking about it. My partner didn't believe in it, and I had children, so I had to sort of try and be a bit more mainstream. So we tend to wear two hats when we work in the energy world, or we're aware of the energy world from a very young age. We have to fit into the mainstream, but we also sense, feel, hear, know what's going on around us that other people can't see. And you don't tend to tell people, otherwise they rush you off to the doctor and they put you on pills because they think it's wholly and solely a mental health condition, where actually it's just your psychic awareness. So I've been at this for a very, very long time, and I do love the paranormal world. It's where I fit in more than I fit in with living people, you might say.
Understand. Um, so how has your work as an energy worker, like what kind of situations has it opened you up in the spiritual and paranormal aspects? So we know within
Well,
your environment, like what does that look like?
what does that look like? When I say to people that I do paranormal work, they're always like, oh, I want to do that too. But doing paranormal work and energy work is actually a lifestyle. It is not a job that
Hmm.
you can turn off 9 to 5. When the dark entities are aware of you and know that you know that they're there and that they're in certain places and doing things, they follow you everywhere. Like they're around us 24, as much as spirit guides, angels, archangels, all that light, fluffy stuff. We have to have the balance of the darker energy beings that are here for certain reasons. So I sense them everywhere. They're here all the time at the local shop, just everywhere I go, and especially when I'm employed to do house cleansing work or property clearing work for people, They've done all sorts of other types of energy work, but no one addresses the dark energy beings in a particular way that actually gets rid of them. You have to know why they're there, what they're doing, what they're up to, what their tactics are, how they're going to possibly try and disrupt your energy flow, your workflow, your sleep, give you nightmares, all sorts of tactics that they try to use to put you off the job, as I say. But I've developed quite a good relationship with the dark realm, and that probably sounds a bit ominous, but they have a healthy awareness of me and I have a healthy awareness of them, and I treat them with respect. Respect goes a long way. I don't hurt or harm any of their beings. I just say to them, you simply need to move house. That's the message. And it's on what I call the dark gossip grapevine, which is what is out there. They know about us energy workers. They would know about you and some of the other people, and they observe us. They keep an eye on us. Are we a threat? Are we not a threat? Will they waste their time on us, or they go and observe or annoy someone else? So it's this big awareness around what is in the earth environment in an energetic sense. And a lot of people still shake their heads when I talk about it, but I'm like, it's part of who we are, what we are, and what is in the environment. And when you're aware of dark beings and know what they're up to, you actually start to neutralize some of the situations that are around us. And that's why I educate people about the dark energy side of things. Most people don't want to go there, but it's not as scary as what people think
Mm.
or what they make it out to be.
I have to say, I agree with you. And I think a lot of people out of um, doctrination, religion, they're fearful looking at it. And I tell many of my clients, like, there's the light in the dark. I mean, I don't know. I went to church when I was young, and we were scared, oh, going to go to hell. So a lot of people don't want to look at it. And there's some religions that are, they do admit, yes, there is entities, and they want to, cast them out and whatever. But it's fearful for, I think, many, many people. And so it's not something they feel comfortable about discussing. I know I'm at the point now, this is the reality, people. And you've probably had attacks. You didn't recognize it as an attack. I don't always recognize when I get an attack. So it's a process. Now, I've been looking at some of your podcasts, and you've got so much information out there. And the one thing that I really like, and perhaps you can get into that, is that you do a paranormal protection. And I talked about this so many times. If we do this, then we can, protect ourselves. But I'd like to get your take on what do you do for your protection?
Now protection is what I'm finding is that protection is different for your average everyday Joe in the street who doesn't do energy work. And then you've got the energy workers that are going out using cords and portals and connecting to people, connecting to clients, connecting to places. For the average everyday person, I give them what I call it's a statement. It's like a prayer. I work with Archangel Michael a lot. I call him my big brother because he has to put up with me all the time, asking questions, asking for help. Because the higher vibrational realms are there to help us, but they won't do anything unless you ask, because they're not allowed to interfere in our lives because that brings karma on them. So I write a statement that I use for pretty much for everyone, and it protects them from spells, curses, hexes, psychic attack, cording, portals,
Mm.
paranormal beings, spirits, all different types of entities. It protects them around all of their fields. Now, people think we only have one energy field. Now, until I got attacked with magic, oh my God, for the last 4 years, I went down the rabbit hole and I had to learn from a totally non-magical background. I know nothing about it. It's like being thrown into a different country and having to survive. And I don't speak foreign languages very well, so I wouldn't survive at all. So I learnt that we have a heart torus field, which is an electromagnetic field around the heart. We also have a torus field around our body. We have the central column of our torus field. We have what I call the universal soul, but you can call it your soul energy, your soul essence. And then we have our basic aura energy field. So I protect all of those because I was protecting just the energy field. And I'm like, how are the magic people still getting in? How are they sending their entities and all their voodoo doo-doo? So I had to start protecting all of the fields. And now I've got full protection
Wow.
until, because I'm an energy worker, I'm going out all the time. When I work with Archangel Michael, I ask him to connect to a property,
Oh.
but I can still get some of the energy come through to me because I am consciously asking him to connect to a property so that we can do the energy clearing work. I call it secondary cording. It comes
Hmm.
in through another source to me because I'm asking for him to do the work, if that makes sense.
I think that is brilliant. I really do.
Yes. Yes. So energy workers, like your average everyday Joe, once they've got my protection and they don't do energy work, they just go about their life. You know, if they're doing meditation or they're doing a lot of spiritual practices, that is classed as energy work. They have to close down afterwards. They have to ask Archangel Michael to sever and remove all cording and portals from your consciousness, your pineal gland, your whole limbic system, certain chakras, certain meridian lines. It's really quite complex. People think this stuff is really easy, but
Mm.
it's very, very specific about where we do our work from. And I've only learnt about this from the magic
Mm.
attack. I'm going, well, where am I connecting to this property from? Oh, it's my consciousness, my pineal gland, my hypothalamus, my hippocampus, the whole limbic system. I've learned a lot about anatomy through the magic attack,
Mhm.
which has actually helped me understand how to close myself up when I'm
Mm.
finished doing the energy work. So I'm totally sealed again and nothing gets in. But you can't cut corners. It's not simple for us
Okay.
energy workers.
Can I ask you, when you say magic attack, describe to me what that magic attack looks like.
Oh
What
my gosh.
what do you mean by specifically magic attack?
Okay, so I lump it all into one. I call it voodoo, sorcery, and magic. So you've got your magic, then you have what I
Hmm.
call the magic mailmen, who are assassins who are sent to literally end your life by attacking certain parts of your physical body and your energy body. This is where I learned about the hypothalamus, the hippocampus, the limbic
I
system.
see.
So it's
Hmm.
when people aren't protected and someone doesn't like you, they can go and employ a magic practitioner anywhere in the world. I had sometimes up to 60 people all at me all at the same time because I
Oh.
helped one client who had a friend who got upset because she couldn't get her own way. And she knows lots of magic people because she's a practitioner of blood magic, sex magic, chaos
Hmm.
magic, all sorts of magic. So she got out there on the vine and told them all what a bad person I am because I helped this other lady and her family. I won't go into it too long because I could talk about magic for hours since I've learnt about it. But they
Hmm.
attack children, babies, adults, and it's all because people, it's very petty reasons. Like I'm a good person. I work for God. Like I'm helping people. There's not a nasty bone in my body,
Hmm.
and that they're all
Hmm.
attacking me, but I've learnt a lot from it. So magic attack is, I'll give some examples, is probably the
Hmm.
easiest way to do it. I've had clients come to me who all of a sudden have total incontinence and they're
Hmm.
like 22. And I'm like, that now that's not normal unless you've got a medical condition which they've had checked out. Been to the doctor, can't find anything wrong with them. Had all the x-ray scans, I don't know what they do, all the tests. The doctors go, I don't know. We don't know what that is. So the poor person at 22 is totally incontinent. They'll come to me and go, I had, I'll say to them, explain to me when this started, what sort of symptoms you experienced. I had one lady tell me that she was sitting at home and all of a sudden she had electricity jolting through all her arms and her legs.
Hmm.
Her whole body was on was like it was on electric fire. I knew exactly what that was. That was the magic people attacking the whole meridian line system that runs through the body. She felt energy coming out her fingers, meridian lines. It's an energy system that runs through your joints and your fingers, and it runs through your whole body. Anyway, so when I looked into her, she had the entities, voodoo, sorcery, magic, which is a collective
Mhm.
word for spells, curses, hexes, incantations, the whole thing. And she also had cording and portals open that they'd use to access her whole urinary system as a whole. Then they
Mm.
targeted her bladder and her urethra, her skin, and her physical body. So I
Mm.
had to clean all that up. And it was something like 28 layers of magic I had to get rid of, each one individually. Haven't found a shortcut yet for getting rid of all of it at once. It doesn't work. They send it in layers so it can't be undone.
Oh, interesting that there can be that many layers. How many layers have you seen? Like, what's the
The
most
maximum,
layers? Yeah.
don't laugh, I think from memory, I had 48 layers, all in, around, and attached to all of the government, all the meridian lines in the head, the governing the bladder, the gallbladder meridian line, triple
Yeah.
warmer, all parts of the head, really, the brain, the limbic system, the occipital lobe, the
Mm.
parietal lobe, frontal lobe. They were literally trying to shut down my head, all parts of my brain, my thinking, my thoughts, so I couldn't do my energy work with people. So this is a problem when you do energy work, is that you're actually opening yourself up to do it, and sometimes they can sneak in. Whereas the average everyday person, once they're sealed up, nothing can get in unless they start doing energy work. But the magic attack is really, really detrimental to your physical body. I've had people with their digestive systems shut down, similar to the urinary system. And I've had to go through and look at
Interesting.
all, I've had to learn about the anatomy of the whole digestive system, right down to the insulin and what actually the parts of the
Wow.
insulin. It's interesting because I'm not a medical person. It's really quite
Right.
funny.
But
I've
you're
had to learn.
medical and medical intuitive. I mean, really, it's the same thing. Medical intuitive, you could be considered. Now, you had just mentioned, sorry, but you said right down to the insulin. Have you seen entities? Is there anything related to diabetes? Is that even
Ah,
something? Just
now
asking.
I had a lot of weight gain for a while. Now, of
Yeah.
course, that can be overeating, but I'm 57, I'm nearly 60, so I'm very careful about what I eat. I fast for 18
Mm.
hours a day.
Wow.
Don't do stimulants, don't drink coffee, tea, don't have alcohol, don't have sugar, about 80% less sugar than I used to have. I eat very healthy, grow my own veggies, very healthy diet. And I was putting on weight, and I'm like, yes, I am postmenopausal, but that's not it. That's been gone for years, like years and
Mm.
years. What could it be? This is when I learnt about these little things called isolates of Langerhans. Now, I've probably said it wrong, but it's connected to your insulin in your pancreas. Now, my pancreas, when I used my dowsing, my pancreas was riddled with magic and different types of entities and cording and portals because they'd got in there. This is in the early days, like years ago.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, so I fixed that. And I went, no, it's still not right because I can feel it. Now, this is going to sound weird. As much as I feel the demonic entities
Mm.
around me, I feel the frequency of magic. And when my fields aren't fully functional, or when there's a part of my body, generally in my head area, that's not fully functional. If the limbic system is off, which is your pineal gland, hippocampus, look it up online if you want to know about the limbic
Mhm.
system. When
Mhm.
that's not fully functional, it has a certain vibration, it has a certain frequency, which is interesting. So my pancreas still didn't feel right. It was like, there's something there that doesn't feel right. So I went, okay, is this connected to my insulin? Because I use my pendulum. Is it connected to the insulin? Yes. Still wasn't right using the word insulin. It's all about the wording. Wording is so important. So then I
Mhm.
learned about what is insulin, what are the components of insulin. And these little things called isolates of Langerhans, which is that's how it's spelt. So I don't know how you say it. So if I've
Bracelets.
said it
Okay.
wrong, it's just a giggle. So when I sorted all that out and got rid of all the magic that was connected to all of those words, it
Mhm.
all disappeared and my weight started to go down.
What?
Yes.
So once you connected that it was the isolates, once you
Yep.
brought it to the consciousness,
Because magic people will get into your anatomy because we are anatomy
yes,
beings. We're made of
yes,
fleshy beings.
yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. They get into our anatomy. Wow, that's interesting because, that being the case, due to the fact to the tremendous level of diabetes in the world, pre-diabetes, um, that's very interesting, Anna.
I actually wonder how many
Hmm.
people are in hospitals and mental health
Yes,
institutions,
yes.
not from a medical cause, but
Hmm.
because they've been psychically attacked by
Yeah.
other people for whatever reasons, whether they're petty or
Hmm.
otherwise, that's not really the point. How many
Yes.
people have suicided because they've been driven to it? A friend of mine, her brother, who's connected to this woman who caused all these problems for us, he found himself in his backyard one day with a noose looking for a tree to hang it on. Now, this is a young man with a young
Hmm.
family, beautiful relationship, beautiful wife, really good family orientated country bumpkin bloke. Works hard, loves his kids and his wife, but yet he's roaming around the paddock with a noose that he didn't know how to tie, looking for somewhere to hang it. Now that he actually woke
Yes.
up and went, holy that word,
Hmm.
what am I doing? Thankfully, he woke up and he realized, and he didn't actually do the deed, which had been instigated by coding that had been put into, I can't remember, it was a part of his brain that they'd got into
Hmm.
where they'd influenced his thinking.
Hmm.
And he's not really a believer. Like there's a lot of people that aren't believers in this stuff and they go, why am I doing this? Why is my body behaving like this? I do a lot of work for
Hmm.
skeptics. They don't have to believe. I don't care if they don't believe. People say magic can't hurt you if you don't believe in it. That is a whole heap of bollocks. Tell that to a 2-year-old baby who's been to the hospital 3 weeks in a row with heart palpitations so bad his parents thought he was
Yes.
going to die and his temperature was 42 and all the tests come back normal.
Yeah.
ECG, all the everything is like, and they're like, I don't know what to do. But luckily, they know people that know me. They contacted me and I went, oh, I know. Please share your
Yes.
child's name, a name and an email or a name and address. And I don't work with photos anymore because photos are an issue.
Hmm.
But it's fascinating. As much as this has been traumatizing and horrible, the
Hmm.
God has put me in this place at this
Hmm.
time to help people being attacked by magic. And I had to go through everything myself to
Hmm.
learn how to undo it because nothing online and all the witches that
No.
I spoke to, nothing online, they're like, don't believe in it. Put salt round your bed, put brick dust round your windows. That does not
Yeah.
keep entities out or the
No.
magic out.
Well, and I was going to say back to the hospitals. Oh my gosh,
Mm.
full of entities. And I'm thinking every time we go under an anesthesia, we are so like, my just personally for myself. So we are so open and available to these entities. I know I've had to have a person work on knowing I was going in for one particular operation, just like get in there, clear that operating room, work on the doctor, work on the staff, work, like let's get everybody clear. So I'd suggest anybody who's going to be going for any surgery, or I'm even thinking going to the dentist when they give you anesthesia.
Because we're in an unconscious state. I look at the
Yeah.
consciousness, the unconsciousness, and also the subconscious, because the magic people can get into your subconscious. Right in the early days, very quick story, I'll explain this. I woke up in the middle of the night, right at the beginning of this whole issue I'd been through, and my friend, who's part of this, had exactly the same experience. I woke up in the middle of the night with a human voice in my head that wasn't a dream. It literally, it sort of woke up my consciousness and it went, ha, 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 got you. And I went, Oh no. Oh no. Someone's got in. So this is when I was learning about all this. So that's all literally been shut down now. My consciousness is closed,
Oh,
subconscious is closed. I don't know about the unconscious because I don't go to hospital very often. I'm not knocked out, but I presume that the unconscious state would still be connected
mhm,
to your consciousness or your subconsciousness. I don't know.
mhm.
I'd have to
Right.
experience it to find out.
Wow.
So
Oh,
complex. So
so interesting. And just from hearing you talk now and just for the amount of information that I've read about, like we need this, Anna. We need you to teach us more about all of this.
yep, I
You know,
don't share the protection practices that I use for people because I don't know who's involved in magic and who isn't. Because if they understand
oh,
what I'm doing, they can undo it all.
oh,
And then I
oh,
would be like, oh my gosh, I'll have to start all over
right.
again.
Oh, interesting. True.
Yes, you've got to be
Wow.
really careful who you share your stuff with because you don't know. I mean, I was
You
going to a
don't
spiritual
know.
church here in Hobart. And there's people there doing magic on people who are doing readings. Like they do flower readings at the end of the night to give someone a nice message for them to go home and feel great about. But yet the
Yeah.
readers were getting attacked. I had someone put my name on a bag because they do flower readings. You put a bit of plant material or a piece of
Yeah.
jewelry or something of yours in a bag that you've held on to. It's got your energy. Someone wrote my name on a bag, and I was like, I am not touching that because they're all totally anonymous. That was set up for me to open that or to even touch the bag, do the reading, and I would have got psychically attacked in some way. It's really sad. And these are supposed to be spiritual people, but yet there's witch people everywhere.
This is what I'm finding out. It's been very difficult the last few years. There's been some people, like, when you trust, when, like you say, you're a good person. I like to think of myself. I have my dark side too, of course. But, you typically you work towards being a good person. And then
Yep.
people that you used to share and give and just like poof, it's like wow, like you've energies aren't matching anymore. And it can be very shocking. The people that you thought were there for the good are were really not.
And there's
So,
different levels of good. There's textbook good. There's those that do
mhm,
all the courses and think they're spiritually aligned or enlightened or
yes.
whatever, but they're not dealing with their trauma. And then you've got all the people that are out there to attack other people for power hung. It's basically for power. People say to me, why is someone doing magic to me? I'm going, well, they're either jealous
Mm.
or they hate you or they're just after power and they want to see you die,
Power.
which is extreme, but that is the aim. They
Mhm.
want you to be snuffed out, basically. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And what do they get from that? I find that really sad that another human being could
yeah,
get pleasure out of killing another
yeah,
person in that way.
right.
I just
Well,
don't, my brain can't comprehend it.
it is difficult. Do you think that do you ever look at parts of human beings that maybe they're not 100% human? Like, could there be some hybrids or reptilian in that person? And if so, could that also be attracting entities? Or do you go there at all?
Ah, now that's interesting. I don't really do the whole galactic. I'm aware of, I call them cosmic beings. They tell me they don't like being called ETs. They find that really rude. So I call them cosmic beings. They're not really on my radar because my brain goes straight to the dark and the demonic level entities because
Okay.
they're what I feel in the supermarkets, in the car parks attached to people, coming through emails, coming through websites. That seems to be my
Hmm.
forte in understanding what the demonic entities, where they are in people and what they're doing. And when I remove their food source, I had someone say to me one day, "Oh
Hmm.
no, you can't deal with demonic entities because you're not a priest." I said, "Well, I don't touch them. I simply remove why they're there."
Hmm.
Like it can be a trauma or an addiction, or it can be a buildup of an emotional, say grief. Grief is a great example. Not great, but you know what I mean. A lot of people
Hmm.
have grief and it builds up because they've lost someone in their life. They're vulnerable, they're open, entities attached to them because of their grief, because dark and demonic entities, specifically the demonic entities, all feed off their own particular vibration. So there'll be a bunch of them that love resentment, a bunch that love hostility, hatred, fear, guilt,
Ah,
all those emotions. So if you're feeling really guilty about something and you're not dealing with it, you're not talking to the person or solving the problem or the issue, you're going
hmm,
to have entities around you. It doesn't mean they get in. That depends whether you're how vulnerable you are, how open you are psychically or energetically, but they're definitely around you,
hmm,
influencing you. But some people who have tears in their fields for whatever reasons, traumas, or really large build-ups of emotions, or they've experienced a lot of trauma in their life, they are vulnerable, or they've done some sort of magic practice, or they're into satanic practices, or they're
hmm.
using a Ouija board. Ouija boards are really, really not good. I know people that say they're fine. When vulnerable people use them, they are a doorway. They're an invitation.
Mhm.
You're actually inviting the entities to you. You're inviting them into your personal space, which is not just the room around you. You're inviting them into here. So
Mhm.
we don't use Ouija boards. I know because I made one at a very young age and did a stupid thing with it, and I learnt that you just don't go there.
That was the kind of thing to do when I was very young, and people got Ouija boards. And then I never saw it again. I mean, I was very quite young. And that's what people got for gifts. I don't know. It was the thing to do. And I have to ask you about this because I think, we're going through a lot of people are losing family members because of what we're going through in the world right now and all this medicine that we're taking. So, and it's really taking a lot of people out of they're just kind of confused. And some people they may decide to commit suicide. And I was reading in one of your great info on your website, and I'm going to give all that information at the end. But if somebody does have suicide, how do suicide souls access the afterlife? Like what have you learned from the work that you've done about suicides? Because we all are kind of not sure about what happens.
From my perspective, people don't go to hell. Hell is the devil's headquarters where all of the armies and legions of entities hang out waiting to be deployed. That's what I usually say to people.
Mhm.
People don't go to hell. So, suicide souls is the term I give them, are people that have self harmed and taken their own lives. They think that they are going to be punished for
Mhm.
all of eternity. They're literally going to burn in the fires of hell or be punished in purgatory. What I've found is, because I work with the archangels a lot, and I said to Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael one day, look, I've got a lady here and she's in a home and she took her own life in the home and she can see the struggle that her family's going through. She doesn't want to be here. She knows she's done the wrong thing, but she doesn't want to be in the earth reality as a spirit anymore. How do I help her? I simply ask the question because I don't know.
Right.
Energy workers are
Right.
literally channels for the higher
Yeah.
realms. I
Yeah.
said, well, what do I do with her? She doesn't want, she's scared to go, but she doesn't want to be here. And they
Mhm.
said she's not going to hell. They're going to what I call the afterlife waiting room. I don't know if that's what it's called.
Hmm.
That's what I call it. So
Okay.
it's like the train station in Harry Potter that we all saw at the movie, the big white train station. But I see it as a
Mhm.
waiting room. And on the right-hand side, there's lots and lots and lots of doors. And there's specific doors for specific types of trauma or entities, or we've got to go in and work on our traumas, our emotions, what got us to the place where we've passed away. No one gets a golden ticket into the afterlife, as I say. We all have to work on. Some people say we have to go through that life book, that Akashic record, and deal with all the things that have been written down. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that? Well, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I'm remorseful for doing that. You have to work through the traumas that you've created in your lives for yourself, but also for other people. So when it came to the lady that I was working with, it was a young girl. I think she was about 26. And it was just one of
Mm.
those things where she just made a mistake and she wished she hadn't done it. But she realized now she was in spirit form. She couldn't bear to be around her family because of it was just really complicated. And when I transition spirits or suicide souls, I ask them, are there any emotions or any trauma
Mm.
imprint you would like to release?
Mhm.
And I've got a list and I use my pendulum and they'll show me some they want to release. And then I ask Archangel Azrael, who is the transitioner of
Mhm.
souls. He will come once this energy's been released. And I've had a chat with whoever the spirit is, like I'm talking to you now. I just talk to them like they're
Mhm.
still people. They're still here, like they've got their bodies.
Mhm.
And we had this conversation, and she was like, is that all? And she said, I have been here for 10 years because I thought I was going to burn in hell for all of eternity.
Wow.
She had no idea that because she was church upbringing and she knew she'd done the
Absolutely.
wrong thing and she was traumatized and how the story goes.
Mhm.
And she's like, so God does want me. And I went, yes, God loves you. You've
Hmm.
done these things. You need to now work through what you've done that got you to this place. And once
Mhm.
they consider that your vibration has shifted in whatever way, I'm having trouble finding the right words. Once your
Mhm.
vibration is shifted to the state where we think that you're ready to go, you will get your golden ticket into the afterlife.
I think so. I think that's really true. You know how we've been mentioning earlier about religion, and then I'm reading from your site, but there's how religion controls and warps our perception of the devil. And I think just what you're referring to, and it's true, like we're told we're going to go to hell. And so it's very traumatizing for the family that's left behind. Are they in hell? So yeah, thank you. That is a real gift to give to the family and for the person who has committed suicide to speak to them and just let them know that they're loved and safe. And that's a real gift to be able to do that.
And sometimes you feel their emotions as they transition.
Hmm.
I just wrote an episode on this to come up
Whoa.
sort of in December, is that I'll find I tune into a home sometimes and I'm like I'm
Yeah.
talking to you now. I'm quite happy, everything's relaxed. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden I start crying like full on, full
Hmm.
on tears and emotions, and I don't know why I'm like this. And then I'm like,
Hmm.
hang on, that's not me. That's someone in the home that needs help.
Okay.
So I find I don't feel the angry emotions. There's no anger,
Hmm.
hostility, or resentment, or I don't feel that. It's the sad emotions, the sorrow, the despair, the sadness, the grief. Sometimes spirits need to release that through an energy worker.
Okay. That makes sense.
And even though nothing gets in because I've got all this protection, I don't know how it
Right.
works. I can still feel it. Like that,
Right.
I don't let spirits, nothing gets, I don't channel spirit energy or do that trans, whatever type of
Mhm.
mediumship people talk about. Nothing gets in because I don't trust anything getting into my personal space for
Wow.
good reasons. But I still feel the emotions
Hmm.
and spirits around the outside of my field. So
Hmm.
I let that go. Sometimes they need to release it through a physical person. It's really
Wow.
interesting. I love observing this stuff.
I just find it fascinating that you're able to just protect yourself where you're not affected by the entities.
I have to, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
I
I would
mean,
have been gone
because
years ago.
that is something that so many of us who do the energy work struggle with.
Yeah.
And yeah, and not having the confidence that you're going to be totally protected, like whenever, and it can come in at any time. You don't have to even leave your home. You can just through social media, etc.
Yeah. So with demons, it's really important to understand
Mhm.
that they use tactics to trigger us, to get a response that they then feed off for whatever reason.
Mm.
So if you start to understand what your triggers are, say you've got a trauma that's a trigger for you, say grief again, we'll use
Mhm.
that as an example. You need to work through it. You need to see a counselor, talk to someone on
Okay.
Lifeline, talk to your doctor, get medication if you need it. When you work through your traumas,
Okay.
work through your emotions. Like I say to people, this is a good example. I don't create
Okay.
resentment anymore because I'm a Leo and I'm very bossy and I like things done my way because that's just the way I
Yes.
am. I'm a
Yes.
bossy Leo. I'm sort of mellowing as I get older. I used to create a lot of resentment, which would attract the
Mm.
demons that like resentment.
Okay.
So I don't do that anymore. It's maybe 1%.
Mm.
Every now and again, I'll be triggered and go, oh, I need to get rid of that right now. It's about awareness. That's why I
Okay.
created my podcast. It's about awareness, about
Okay.
your triggers, because demons aren't interested in you if they can't trigger you. They don't bother
Mm.
with me anymore. They know they can't torture my family in my dreams anymore and get a response because I used to be very, very sensitive to human suffering. And
Mm.
I don't let that affect me. I just go, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. And they're like, oh, now we've got to try and find something else to trigger her with. So
Mm.
the whole MO. So I did a religious demonology course recently with
Oh.
Reverend, I can never say Reverend Leslie from the St. Joan of Arc Old Catholic Church in America. I can't tell you where it
Okay.
is. I've forgotten. So many states in America, I just
Yeah.
lost it. So I got a calling to do this and add a more religious connection to the work that I do. I still do the work
Mm.
I've always done, but I'm
Right.
adding more. It's giving me more connection to God in a different way. I'm still haven't quite
Nice.
worked out how it works yet because I've only just finished this course. And I
Okay.
don't normally do courses. I'm a live and learn girl. Like I live it, learn it, and then find a
Mm.
solution. But I'm like, I had this calling to do the religious demonology course. And what it
Mm.
taught me is that demons are fallen angels, as we all know. So they're tethered
Yes.
to God. This is what Leslie says. Leslie says they're tethered to God, and God gives them, He doesn't give them free rein, but they are
Mm-hmm.
here to test us, to tempt us, to see where we're at on our spiritual path. So they're still being
Mm-hmm.
controlled from a godly sense, but they're given
Okay.
some free rein to see if they can trick us and trigger us and get us to behave in
Mm.
certain ways because we're not going to reach that spiritual enlightenment. I don't really like that word, but people understand it. We're not going to get there.
Right.
If we're still living in sin, if we're still being tempted all the time, if we're not dealing with our stuff. So the
Yeah.
demons trigger us to deal with our stuff. I did a whole podcast episode on
Mm.
demons are teachers. They teach us about our
Okay.
shadow self.
Awesome. I'm going to
That's what
have
they
to.
do. That's what they're here
Yeah.
for.
Interesting take on that. I really appreciate that you said that. They're only interested if we have triggers. So it's up to us to find all the triggers. But Jay, I mean, it seems like every day be triggered with something. I don't know. I get triggered by injustice. I am so triggered by any government injustice, any injustice. I don't know how to let that go because if it's right there in your face and you see it, you feel it, you know you're being targeted because they want you to, how do you possibly get rid of that trigger?
Well, you look at how it affects you. How does it, this is what I say to people, how does
Yeah.
it benefit you to be triggered by the injustice? Can I give a quick example?
Yeah, do please. Yeah.
Hostility and resentment were my two
Yes.
main triggers. So we talked about
Okay.
resentment.
Yeah.
Hostility when I'm driving, because I'm very morally and ethically bound when I'm driving. We all know how crazy people are on the road.
Hmm.
I get triggered by what other people do on the road. But really and
Yes.
truly, it's none of my business what other people are doing on the road
Mm.
because that's their issue, their problem, their whatever. So I now I'm still working on it. No one's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
probably 80% done on not being triggered on the road by what other people doing. What I'm trying to say is they're saying to me, wind it up. I focus on my path, staying in my lane with a
Mm,
healthy awareness of what is going on around me so there's no accidents. But I focus on what is most beneficial for me. And that's not selfishness, it's self-care. So for yourself, if you're finding that you're having trouble going to sleep at night because you're worrying about the injustice of what the government's doing in the States or in Canada,
mhm,
you look at how can you change that? Can you change it? Can't you change it? How does it benefit you to be thinking about that?
mm. Exactly. Yeah, and there is no benefit. I just try to calm my nervous system has been my big thing. Is really working on calming the nervous system because then they can't get to you. If your nervous system is calm, do you think the demons can get to you? What's your thoughts? If you have a
Well, it
calm nervous system,
depends what you mean by calm. Do you have build up
just like,
emotional imprints, trauma imprints? Do you clear out? You're an emotion code
yeah,
practitioner.
emotion, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just in general, the nervous system, just calming things down so I'm not triggered. I'm thinking it just makes sense to me after you're saying this about how demons are only interested if you have triggers. But if my nervous system is calm, like I'm just like right, steady, then how do I get attacked by the demons? Yeah, I don't think they want us to have a calm nervous system. They want me to be erratic. They want me to be triggered. They want me to go through all this crap so they can get to me. And again, I appreciate that you said that they're only interested if you have triggers. So I have to do the opposite.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I was just going to say that, do the opposite. So that's what I do when I'm on the road, is I
Okay.
stay focused on my lane. I know where I'm going. I have a healthy awareness of what is around me, but I focus on my driving.
Hmm.
That's where my focus is, on my driving, and not letting myself get distracted. Because if I get distracted by what someone else is doing, who's to say that I don't veer into another lane and cause an accident? And that's what the entities want. So I just go, no,
Yes.
you're not getting hostility out of me anymore. I'm just going to focus on my driving. You're
Yeah.
aware, everyone's aware of what other people are doing on the road with your mirrors and so forth. But demons are only interested in us if we have triggers. And when you start working through your triggers, it's like people call it shadow work. That's a word that most people understand. You have
Hmm.
to do the
Hmm.
shadow work.
Yes.
People don't want to because it brings up things about themselves that they don't like.
They
So I can
don't.
talk
They
about
don't
being
like.
hostile on the road, even though I
Right.
say that I'm a good person and I'm a nice person, but I'm triggered by that bloke who didn't
Right.
indicate, or he squeezed into that gap that I'm trying to leave it between
Yeah.
me and the car in front, and someone gets in. They did it to me taking my son to work today. And I just
Mm.
went, I just slow down. I just slowed down on the road, and I drive along like a grandma, as I call it. But I feel happy and I feel safe when I drive slower. And if other people are going to go over 80 k's an hour and cause an accident, that's their problem. It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with me.
It's like that let them theory. I don't know if you've ever heard that or not. It's like let them. You can't control what other people are doing, just like but what yourself. So I think that really plays in well with that whole let them theory. Um, well, that's great. So is there any particular story that you want to leave us with before I give out all your wonderful info?
Oh, yes. I'd like to share a house story, which I think is really important for a lot of
Yes,
people to
please.
understand. Homes have history, as I call it. You
Okay.
can pull up the carpets, you can paint the walls, you can renovate, you can restructure your home. But that doesn't change the energy in the home. Now, I'll give an example I give quite often. A young boy is sleeping in his bedroom. The family have just moved into a home within the last, say, 6 months. This
Mm-hmm.
boy can't sleep. For whatever reason, he just can't sleep. There's no other rooms for him to go to because there's, I don't know, 4 kids in the family. His bed is right next to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And on the
Yeah.
other side of the wall is the bath, and the shower's above the bath.
Yeah.
In this particular home, and I didn't share this with the client because they've got to live there. I'm very choosy with my wording when people have to live in homes. Someone had
Mhm.
self-harmed and taken their life in the bath.
Ooh.
So there was overdose, self-harming,
Mm,
suicide, death, and bloodshed, which are like the
geez.
5 top demonic vibrations in
Okay.
homes that they hang around. Took me 4 goes to shift all that from the bath. Now, the bath had been bleached, it had been cleaned, it looked sparkly new and beautiful. The energy hadn't been removed. Now, the spirit wasn't in the home. Whoever the person was that had
Hmm.
suicided maybe went with their body to the hospital, don't know. They weren't in the home. But this boy could feel this vibration coming through the wall because his bed was right next to the bath.
Mm-hmm.
When I cleaned out the bathroom for him, I did the whole house. The whole house was energetically cleaned. But I
Wow.
really, really honed in because I
Mm,
check, double check, triple check. I'm very OCD. It's just the way energy work has to be. Can't give it a clean sweep once or a quick check. You have to go
mm,
through each room and clear all the emotions, all the traumas. Bloodshed and the death vibration really are extremely
ooh.
dense, whether it's attached to a person or in a home or in where there's been massacres or so forth. Demons love those 2 vibrations for some reason. I'm still gathering more information on that. So I cleaned out the bathroom energetically within, I think it was 2 days. The mum,
Yes.
this is a house in America because I do all my work remotely. The mum emailed me and went, I don't know what you've done, but he's staying in bed. He's sleeping. He's not wetting the bed. He's not calling me in
Wow.
the middle of the night to take him to the toilet because he's too scared to get up.
Wow.
It takes a couple of days, sometimes a week or 2 for the home to, it needs to
Wow.
settle and rebalance. But that's a really good example of negative energy in home. Well, that's an extreme example of negative energy in homes that can upset people, can upset pets, sleep patterns,
Hmm.
eating patterns, behavioral patterns, relationship connections between people can go AWOL if there's demons in a home because they want you to fight.
Hmm.
So that's one of my, not favorite, but that's one of my most informative stories about if you're going to a house, looking at buying a new home, don't walk through it once, go through every room and look past all the sparkly new stuff and
Hmm.
stand in each room and feel, what does it feel like? What are you feeling when you're in
Hmm.
this room?
Okay.
Because people glaze over when they buy a house because it looks beautiful, but they haven't actually stood in a lot of the places. And then they
Hmm.
move in and everything starts to go downhill. So
And
yes, that's,
you detect that a lot with your dowsing, like your
oh,
testing
I
and
use a
dowsing.
pendulum. Yep.
Yes. Yes. So I love it. Um,
And
now,
homes actually show me, homes will show me trauma that's occurred. So the person in the
oh,
bath, it's a bit like a crime scene because I'm a lover of, CSI,
yeah.
all the murder mystery crime type shows. So they'll actually show me the crime scene in my head and I'm
Oh
like,
my
wow,
gosh.
did I need to see that? No, but yes, I did to understand what is there, to understand
Mm,
what is there. So yeah, homes will actually show you. But yes, I do use my pendulum for sort of 90% of what I do.
perfect. Yeah. This energy work is obviously all that you do is perfect combination. Um, so yeah, that's so great. I love your house story, and that probably happens more than what people recognize. Especially I know we have moved so many times, and it takes a while for you to feel the energy is good. But when you
Yeah.
have adjoining walls, and if you're in a condo situation or apartment, you have people living, adjoining walls, you know, up above and below, then yeah, you can be absorbing. And I have to ask you, have you seen times where entities can jump? So, say, for example, you're in the park or in a grocery store and you were just fine before, and afterwards you just feel like you got an attack. Do people comment on that?
Yes, they do, because you've got a vibration. That particular entity goes, oh, goody, 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 goody. I like that. So they'll move house. So they'll move from person to person sometimes. So if I get something that, say, comes into my house with someone that likes hostility, they're not going to hang around me because I don't carry that vibration anymore.
Hmm.
It's all about frequency, vibration. I can't explain it in a scientific way because it's unexplainable that way. But it's the
No.
feeling, it's the frequency that we put out, the vibe, whatever what people want to call it.
Hmm.
Whatever you're pumping out into society attracts people to you, opportunities to you, but also the negative vibes will attract the demons. It's just how it works.
Yeah, I know. It's very frustrating. I found that times when I put myself out more, um, you just want to level up. I can be prone to an attack, and it's so frustrating. And I don't know what you do about that, but
Having
yeah,
good
they
protection,
good
good protection,
protection.
and checking your protection. Like I've got to do a house job very soon. So I check myself
Yeah.
before I start. So I'm not taking
Okay.
anything to someone else's
Hmm.
home. It's checking yourself afterwards, making sure that everything is sealed, severed, removed. There's no cording, no portals, no entities attached to you from that home. That
Hmm.
the cording to the property's been severed. Because when we connect to people or places, we actually create connections, whether you call it cording, portals, ties, ribbons, whatever. We connect through because I always say if I'm professionally employed to do something, that's when the connection's created, not if I'm going to visit someone for a chat and there's demons in their
Hmm.
home. There's no connection there. But when you're employed as an energy worker to work for someone, you're creating connections to them. And a lot of
Yes.
energy workers don't shut those connections afterwards and they leave themselves open. They just
Well,
do.
I'm guilty of that too. It's just, oh, you really need to make sure I disconnect. No, I'm guilty of that too. So that's
But
another
it
great
takes time.
reminder.
It takes time and it's a pain in the neck to have to do it
Hmm.
all day long. And the magic attack, because they're relentless, like they will set stuff up on a schedule to attack you every half an hour for the rest of your life until you
Oh,
die, basically. So I have to make sure I am sealed. So I check myself in the
gee.
morning, check myself after jobs, check myself when I'm going to bed or I feel a bit
Wow.
wonky. Is it just around the outside, as I call it? Around the outside of our fields is called public space. That's what I call it.
Okay. Yeah.
They can send anything they like to you
Hmm.
because that is public space. We can only control what is within our fields because that is
Hmm.
us. We can't
Right.
control what goes on outside. You can set things up. I've got things set up to get rid of them,
Hmm.
activated by my big brother, but it just doesn't stop. And like that's
Hmm.
taught me because I didn't have protection before I started doing all this. I just went, nah, I can't be bothered. I'll just deal with what comes. Well, didn't I get a big fat slap in the face when the
Wow.
magic attack started? That after that voice I heard, I went, oh, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. But I learned that you need to have solid energetic protection and boundaries. So people don't like the word protection, boundaries. Boundaries from toxic people in your life, get rid of them. Boundaries for jobs that don't work for you, for foods that don't work for you. You've got to have boundaries. It's really, really important for your own self care and your life, basically.
True.
Yep,
Boundaries is essential.
exactly.
Wow, I've got some great info I want to share, and but I will be doing a copy paste of what you sent as to your podcast, your YouTube, your website, Facebook. I don't know if you want to give all that information out now, Anna, or what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So, YouTube, I share my podcast and little paranormal investigation videos because I love a bit of paranormal investigation. And there's lots of videos there from the old days. I don't do video anymore because I just don't have time. The podcast is my full
Hmm.
time. It just keeps me busy. But there's lots of playlists with videos about all sorts of things. So that's at Paranormal Specialist on YouTube. Facebook is Spiritual Being Paranormal Services. That is my business page. My website is Spiritual Being. So it's be-ing.com.au. What else is there? The podcast is
Yes.
Perfectly Paranormal. So I talk about everything paranormal, but in a non-fear-based way. It's not about frightening people, it's about educating people.
Well, it is, and you like honestly, you come across so authentic and light. And so you, for what you do, and I have to say, I think for anyone that is, if you're moving into a home or, you know, gosh, I mean, I would do this for sure next time, Anna, is just making sure that it's clean because sometimes you just can't do it on your own. You need help. And considering this is like one of your major things that you're very good at, gosh, that'd be good for anyone that's um, moving into a new situation. And I really appreciate when you talked about the entities connected to the insulin and the pancreas. And boy, that is a big one. And I know that they can be within the different organs, glands, tissues, etc. But how that definitely helped, and with your weight, that's pretty cool.
I mean, I didn't
So,
lose a lot. I lost maybe 3 or 4 kilos, but I don't want
but
to be, I'm not
no,
aiming
but
to be
that's a
skinny.
big
I just need to be healthy.
But that's a big part that's never looked at when it's regarding our weight. So, no, that is very important. So, no, you've got a lot of information. I really do encourage people check out her podcast. So many. Just go to where you feel guided, or her YouTube, and yeah, her website. Tons of information. So, yeah, thank you so much, Anna. I could just talk to you all day. You just have so much information and so much to share. And I could really learn a lot. We could really learn from me. A lot of people that do the energy work, a lot of practitioners, and just like uh, everyday people about the whole entity. Something that people, for the most part, do not want to talk about, but it's reality. There are entities, and we might as well learn from it and not be scared to look at it. And you know, just move ahead with life, do our best with our time here on earth and helping other people as to their happiness and well-being. So once again, thank you for being here, and I'll be providing all this information that you just as to all the podcasts, YouTube, website, and Facebook. So
Wonderful. Thank you, Brenda. And I just want to say to people, observe without fear when you think there might be something in your home, because fear is an emotion that attracts the beings. So you just observe. And when you understand who they are and what they do, they're not as scary as what we've been
mm,
trained to think they are.
I think so. I think that's very wise. And sometimes they just need help, is what I like to say. Just
Yep,
like perhaps they need a little assistance. And so just help them out. Maybe that's why they came to you, is that they're looking for
absolutely.
some help. And is it what do you need? So that's how I've spoken to some of these entities at times. And just like you said, they're not all there to be scary. So awesome. Thank you once again. And maybe we'll do this again sometime. It was great information.
That was lovely. I always enjoy speaking with you, Brenda. It's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.